Hello, I'm James, and welcome to another Jonesing for Film theatrical review. Yes, The Amazing Spider-Man, the reboot of the Webheads franchise. So The Amazing Spider-Man retells the origin story of how high school student Peter Parker was bitten by a genetically altered spider, given the reflexes and skills of a spider, and became the masked hero Spider-Man. However, unlike the 2002 film, this film also focuses on Peter Parker looking into his father's mysterious research, and how his search changes not only his life, but the life of his father's former partner. Now, I'm a big fan of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films. There are even aspects of the third film that I do enjoy, although overall it's a pretty terrible film. So when I heard that Sony was rebooting the franchise, I was both curious and upset. I mean, film 3 only came out in 2007. I felt it was a bit early to reboot the franchise. On the other hand, though, I was interested in seeing what spins they would put on the origin story. So let's get into what did work. Andrew Garfield impresses me every time I see him, and here has to be his best performance. I feel he was a much better Peter Parker than Tobey Maguire. And I liked Maguire in films 1 and 2. But Garfield just seems to radiate smarts while also being able to deliver comic lines, which was something that didn't work for me with Maguire. He just didn't have that true Spidey humor that was needed. Garfield, however, was excellent at delivering the Spidey style of humor. Another great up-and-coming actor here was Emma Stone. She is also someone who I have not had a problem with. She was amazing here and had great chemistry with Garfield. And from what I've read, the two had a close relationship off-screen, and the on-screen connection they had really benefited from that. And Rhys Ifans also gave a very good performance as Dr. Kurt Connors, who those familiar with Spider-Man lore will know what he becomes, but for those unfamiliar with him, I'm not going to spoil it for you here. But I will say he gave a very chilling performance. But my favorite casting decision has to be Martin Sheen as Uncle Ben. He fit the role perfectly with both humorous lines and emotional scenes. And Denis Leary also gave an entertaining performance as Police Captain Stacy. I'm actually surprised at how well he fit into this whole universe. My only casting question here was Sally Field as Aunt May. I like Sally Field. She's a great actress and she was good here. But for whatever reason, she didn't feel like Aunt May. And I mean, I don't know why. I don't even know what Aunt May in the comics is like. I've never read the comics. But for some reason, she just did not seem to fit the part to me. Now, with a Spider-Man movie comes action, and the action scenes here are very fun and exciting. The cinematography is well done, and the choreography is very fast and fluid. Another plus to the cinematography was the web-swinging segments. These are shot very nicely, and they're also very fun to watch. Another aspect I enjoyed in this film over the Raimi films was the fact that they put Peter back in high school. Again, another aspect I can't fully put into words why I liked it. It just seemed to fit the atmosphere. The next aspect I liked was the emotional level. In the Raimi films, I felt they pushed the emotional aspect a bit too far, but here it really fit the overall atmosphere. The first Raimi film was a very comic book, cheesy kind of film, and then the sequels, they tried to be a little more serious and a little more emotional, and I think that's where the sequels kind of fell, in my opinion. And the other thing that I liked about the emotional aspect here was it wasn't thrust at the audience halfway through. It was something that was built up throughout the whole film. The last aspect I enjoyed in this film was it took a while for Peter to figure out what had happened to him. Yes, I know when Tobey Maguire played Peter Parker, he didn't really know what was happening to him either, but he still seemed pretty fine. Here they took a more realistic approach. Garfield kind of freaks out once the weird things start to happen. Now on to what I didn't like. First off, every bit of promotion, whether it was a poster or a trailer, everything claimed that this is the untold story. Yet all it does is make questions without answering them. And the questions that are answered are the ones that we already knew. Basically, they're holding back information to squeeze out a sequel. Another issue I found was the instrumental score during one of the action scenes. It did not fit what was happening on screen. You know those videos here on YouTube of something with unfitting music? It was kind of like that. My next issue was the 3D. I was actually very disappointed by the lack of pop the 3D had with the web swinging scenes. I went and saw this in IMAX 3D. I was expecting the 3D to really pop. And my final issue was the look of the villain. He looked extremely cartoony and goofy, and when he wasn't fighting, I found he was very hard to take seriously. The part that the actor played was good, but his transformation, not so much. So overall, I give The Amazing Spider-Man a superb. I find it to be on par with the first Raimi film. The likes and dislikes I have with this one even out to the same level of likes and dislikes I have with the first Raimi film. And this is definitely much better than Spider-Man 3. And despite the fact that I don't like how they left so many questions unanswered, I am still looking forward to a sequel in hopes that they will actually answer these questions. So that is my review of The Amazing Spider-Man. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to click that subscribe button for more reviews. Also, don't forget to visit me on Facebook, follow my Twitter account, and check out my blog. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next review.